Yes, hello.
Howdy, how we doing?
Hey, doing good, thank you.
All right. Do you need any time before we start recording, or?
I don't.
All right. Well,
Perfect.
We'll just dip right into it.
Yeah.
Alrighty,
and
Gabbers.
who are you guys?
We are the Geekly Gab and Nerdical Nonsense Show.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, we chatted briefly with you at the first Astronomicon.
Okay, great.
You actually pulled us into the craft services room, which was kind of fun.
Oh, right, you guys. Hey, great.
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
We were messing around with Kane Hodder, right?
I believe Kane was in there for a second, and then I know a couple of MNE artists came in for a little bit as well.
Oh, right. Oh man, yeah, I missed those sandwiches.
Oh, they were good. They were very good. They were no for us until you made it okay. So thanks a lot for that.
They were yes.
That's what I told my buddy. I was like, man, we kind of sat and debated for a second because we saw you kind of getting ready to leave from your booth. We were like, well, we should talk to him, and I'm like, well, he might be going to do something, and like, well, let's just see if maybe you want to schedule an interview. And I'm like, all right, let's give it a shot. And it turned into a lunch with Bill Moseley, which was
you go, man.
It's just wonderful.
Right,
Stick with me. We're heading to the big time.
So along the lines of Astronomicon, how did the first one treat you?
The first one was great, man. I had a great time. It was great to see the snow again. You know, as I might have mentioned before, I'm from Northern Illinois originally, so it was like old home week with 3 feet of snow. And I remember walking from the hotel every morning to the motel, I should say, to White Castle to get some of their, crankcase coffee. And, I have I don't know what I had something. I must have eaten something. I guess I survived, so it must have been okay. Breakfast at White Castle, that's something you don't get here in Los Angeles.
Absolutely. You never know how that's going to turn out.
right. White Castle's iffy.
It can go
buy them by the sack, man.
Yeah, here nor there with that one.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad the fans probably came out in droves, which a lot of people were very surprised with the weather that, as many people came out to that. But, I mean, their fans are quite dedicated. No,
that was a lot of fun. And now, this second time around, of course, bringing Captain Spaulding.
That's right. Sid Haig is going to be joining the party.
Yeah.
Now, I'm assuming that you guys have done conventions before. Is there a bit of a show to be had with that, or is that something that you guys normally? You guys have anything like planned at all, or?
We're doing on Saturday right around noon. Excuse me, we're doing a photo op. Sid is going to get dressed up as Captain Spaulding, and I'm going to get dressed up as Otis from House of a Thousand Corpses with my red robe and my black and white face paint.
Oh, with the big X on the forehead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we are, coming... We're bearing gifts. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely. Yeah. That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And
Sid is a real hoot. I know last year he wasn't able to make it, but he is he's a lot of fun. I've done a bunch of shows with him. Really love the guy. Certainly acted with him a bunch of times, and so much fun. So. That's going to be a great, it's going to be a great treat for the Michiganders.
Absolutely, and kind of go back to the weather. You'll be quite surprised. We're still looking at grass currently. So.
Oh no way!
Yeah,
wow.
It's kind of a freak winter we've had this year so far. So.
Dang.
We're thinking that we're gonna get bitch slapped with a blizzard just around the corner sometime. So. Just to give you a heads up, you might run into that when you come into Michigan.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah, because I was very excited about the snow last year.
Well, they might double down on you this year. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping of the opposite, which I think most of the Michiganders are, because they're just sick of snow sometimes. But
Yeah, exactly.
but yeah, that it's been quite a fun winter so far. So, aside from obviously Sid, is there anybody else on the roster this year for Astronomicon that you are excited to hang out with or possibly see?
Well, I'm certainly excited to see Twisted, man. You know, those guys were great. They're always a lot of fun. I always like to see the wrestlers. That's really a lot of fun. And who else is on the roster?
They have out of some of the newcomers, but they have Linda Blair's going to be there.
Oh man,
that's going to be pretty
I love
fun.
Linda Blair.
Edward Furlong is also going to be there. They got him confirmed.
Yes, I haven't. I don't think I've ever met Edward Furlong, but I certainly am a big fan of Terminator 2. Linda Blair, I've met a bunch of times, and I've even helped her with her World Heart Fund, which is, she takes care of. I think she has maybe kennels for maybe 100 pit bulls. She has a pit bull rescue outside of Los Angeles, up in the mountains.
Oh wow!
And she does an amazing job, and she's really, really funny. A great woman. Really love her a lot.
Oh, that's really cool. That's actually awesome news. We love to showcase, people who do that type of stuff, especially when we interview them. Like Kane, for instance. Kane likes to go talk to likes to go to hospitals, like to the burn wards, and talk to some of the kids and stuff like that. And we actually told him when we met him at Grand Rapids Comic-Con, we're like, oh man, we just want to showcase and thank you for the all the cool work that you do. So let's see.
Yes, and I of course I bought and read his book, and actually saw his great documentary about him, which is very, very cool.
Oh, okay, awesome. Let's see. As far as the list, we also have Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. He's going to be there. So,
oh, that's awesome!
Yeah,
another pal.
I'm really interested to see him.
That's pretty fantastic.
Let's see. We have the two actors from Paranormal Activity, Micah Sloat and Katie Featherston. We actually just talked to them earlier today, and they were pretty
nice.
Wonderful. Yeah, they were pretty wonderful.
Well, you gotta, if you don't love what you're doing, and if you don't realize just how much, how lucky we are to, get these jobs that, that turn on the horror fans. I mean, that is a pretty, it's just so much fun to be, to be liked.
Absolutely.
But I haven't met them, but I love Paranormal Activity.
Then, of course, Kane Hodder is reoccurring as well for this year.
Met him.
Yeah, absolutely.
We almost have an extra bedroom for him.
And then we have John Kassir, the Crypt Keeper himself. So
yes, absolutely. Cool. Know him well.
And then R.A. I'm the last
Mihailov.
Yes, Mihailov. Thank you. I'm trying. The pronunciation is what I was struggling
with. Yes, Leatherface number 3.
Yes, I am so excited to meet him. I am a huge.
He's a really sweet guy too. He's a big, scary-looking guy, but he's very sweet. Got a great disposition.
Oh, that's fine.
Unless I guess you piss him off. you're on your own.
Right. Yeah, and then we have the Mr. Loose Cannon himself, Bam Margera. He will be there.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was kind of a shot out of left field for Astronomicon for me. I like it. It's not like I have a problem, but I was like, okay, Astro, you're doing your thing, aren't you? That's pretty awesome. All right. Well, as far as the music goes, is there anything you've done recently this year, or anything you're going to be working on musically? I know you have the Corn Bugs and, of course, the Bill and Phil albums.
I'm starting to do some work with a couple of members of a band called War Beast, which is Bruce Corbett, heavy metal. It's also on housecore. And we're doing a project called Mr. Machine. And we already have one song in the can, and excuse me, we're working toward at least an EP. and we should be finished with that by, let's say, the end of spring, I'm going to say. So that's been really exciting, a lot of fun to work on. And, other than that, I'm always thinking about another go around with Ogre from Skinny Puppy, and then Ronnie Sharon and I did that. We had that group called Spider Mountain, and did a CD called No Way Down. And I'm always thinking about getting back together with him and doing another Spider Mountain CD.
Excellent. And
Yeah.
And then of course everybody knows what you're doing on the film aspect, getting back together with the old crew for the Three from Hell. That's something that everybody has been waiting for since the moment we stopped watching Devil's Rejects in the theaters. We were like, yes, we want to see something else, please.
So, please, sir, can I have some more?
I mean, the good news is it's coming out. Excuse me, sometime this year. That's as much as I've learned, and that it's going to kick some ass. That Rob apparently is very excited about it. And, it's funny because we actually shot it last spring, and I think it probably would have been out by now, but then Rob had to go back to his day job of being, a rock icon, and got on the road with Marilyn Manson for about a 3-month tour last year.
Oh, wow.
And
nice.
so I think that delayed whatever post-production was necessary for Three from Hell. So I think that's why, it's taking a little longer than maybe some people imagined or whatever. But it's coming. And, I think from what I've heard and read from Rob, he's really, really excited about it.
Excellent. And I underline the word icon with Rob because, man, I've had the pleasure of seeing him live. And it was just, I think, 2016 I saw him with Disturbed, and he actually played the entire show with 2 cracked ribs. And I'm just like, this guy is amazing, you know what I mean? Just, he's out there still doing his thing, still dancing around, like he was still, like, back in the day, like he was still in, like, White Zombie, you know what I mean? Back
Right.
in those days. And it blew my mind to see somebody perform like that. So, I mean, I feel you with the icon term, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, my family and I caught the last show on the Twins of Evil tour, and so that was just a couple months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and he was just awesome. That was the last show of the tour, so maybe that was like everybody was happy,
Right.
kind of
Go out
got
of
that
the
little
bang.
extra energy because this is all we got to do. But it was great, man. I thought what I was surprised about, not only everything was great, and the band was great, the pyrotechnics were great, everything about the stage show was fantastic. But I was really most impressed by Rob's energy. I mean, he was jumping around like an 18-year-old, man. I was thinking, shit, if I even tried half of that, I'd be like, lying on the ground, heaving, panting and crawling, and he was kicking some ass. I was thinking, shit, man, I got to check out his, trainer or whatever he's doing.
Right. Figure out his regiment.
Yeah, he was good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can't wait to see you at Astronomicon. We definitely have to sit down if you have some time for us for a face-to-face.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah, in fact, if you play me right, right when I'm going to go get sandwiches in the green room, you guys can come up and say, "Hey, man," and I'll bring you in there and make sure you get a couple sandwiches.
Them sandwiches.
All
we need
right.
them sandwiches.
We're gonna look like Tiny Tim and his old gang. Like, please, sir, can we have some sandwiches in an interview?
Exactly. And then and then maybe if we're lucky, I'll have some cold Faygo, and you guys can
That sounds good. We got to spread the love to Ming Chen. We always bring him some Faygo every time we see him.
Yeah,
so.
bring some Faygo. You bring the Faygo, and I'll make sure you get some sandwiches.
Sounds good. All right. Well,
All right.
Before we end the interview, is there any links or any charities which you'd like to promote at all?
I always like to promote myself. That's my biggest charity, and that would be my website, choptopsbbq.com. So choptopsbbq.com. And World Heart is, I'll promote that too again. That's Linda Blair's Foundation for the Rescue of Pit Bulls. And, also just a shout out to all the Los Angeles Unified School District teachers who are out on strike today here in very rainy Los Angeles. They went on strike yesterday and trying to get some higher wages, I guess, better working conditions, and it's just started downpouring, and today's no different. So, God bless them. I'm a union guy. I'm a Screen Actors Guild, part of AFL-CIO. So shout out to the teachers, and I'll be out there tomorrow walking with them.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, we want to thank you for the interview, and personally want to thank you for the couple signed items that you signed for us last year. We threw them out for the giveaway, and we gave them out, and everybody was super stoked about it. So thank you again for your generosity.
Well,
and
I look forward to seeing you guys again in a couple weeks, and if you want to hold back the snow, that's fine, or if it has to snow, that's good too.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right, Gabbers, that was Bill Moseley, and we will have more with you guys coming up.
Sounds good, guys.